Hey guys, good afternoon, everybody. Today is Monday, June 26th. It is 1:59 right now. Our scheduled mentoring sessions are 2 o'clock. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started with the session shortly. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I don't really have anything lined up for today. We're just gonna go as is. We're just gonna knock out questions as they come in. So it's gonna be a few moments to finish setting this up. And then we'll get started shortly. That looks good. All right, looks like we're good to go. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. All right. Looks like we are good to go. So let's get a few moments for people to make their way in. And we will get started shortly. All right, guys, good afternoon, everybody. Today is Monday, June 26th. It is 2:01 right now. Scheduled mentoring sessions for 2 o'clock. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, we'll just wait for more people to make their way in, and then we will get started as soon as we start getting questions. I don't really have anything lined up for today, so whatever questions you guys have, feel free to pop in, and then we will get started shortly. So let's see. I'm going to send this email out too. It's good. Hey CJ. Hey Kaner, how's it going? I'm gonna get this link sent out right here. And it looks like we are good to go. All right. Perfect. All right, guys. So if there's any question that you guys have regarding, any of the strategies, any theories, anything that you have problems with, feel free to put any of your questions in the chat. I'm here to help you guys out. So if you guys are new here, the way that these mentoring sessions work is it's basically like a basic Q&A. I make myself available to you guys, and you guys ask whatever questions you guys need help with, and then I answer them. If you guys need examples of anything, let me know, and we can take a look. But I don't really have anything lined up, so this session is pretty much going to go on for as long as we continue to get questions. So I think people are still joining, so I'll just keep waiting. But if there's anything that you guys have now, feel free to pop in. See if there's anything here that I'm missing. I think we have like a few questions actually. Let me check my inbox real quick, because I think a few people did ask me a couple of questions regarding V1. Okay, yeah, so actually we do have a couple questions. So I'm going to go over the V1 variation. That's like one of the main strategies that we're applying right now. And then I'm going to show you some examples of how I mark up liquidity. So those are the two main questions that I have for today. Sorry, I totally blanked out. I thought I didn't have any questions, but that's probably one of the main questions that I have. Well, let's see if there's anything else here before I start off. So Patricia said, Sean, the 1 hour strategy, for example, noon 1 hour candle. Okay, so let's go over that first, and then we'll go over the other questions. I just want to make sure we knock out the current ones first. So Patricia's asking about the noon 1 hour candle. So I don't see any entry here for the noon. I was looking at that too. I was looking at all the entries after the live session today. And there was nothing here at noon. Noon my time, if that's what you're referring to. Me, Gion, and Maddie were looking at pretty much all the entries from today. So let's go ahead and mark up the hour for, I guess, pretty much every hour that passed after our live session today. So go over here. 9, 10. Yeah, we were looking at all of them. There was just nothing that came up today. 10, 11, and 12. So yeah, Patricia is asking, so she said EST, so 9 Pacific time. So here are all of the hourly candles, Patricia. So here's one at 8 o'clock. We had a buy signal prior, so there's no entry there at 8. Here's one at 9 o'clock. There was a buy signal right here as well, so there's no entry there. Here's one at 10 o'clock, same thing, buy signal, no entry. 11 o'clock, same thing, buy signal, no entry. And lastly here at noon, same thing, buy signal, so no entry. So there was no entries pretty much after the live session today. There's one here at 7 o'clock, and that was pretty much it. That was the only one that came up. This one over here. Yeah, 7 o'clock was the only one that came up right here. Sorry, I keep looking out. There's like so many people outside right now, outside my window. So I'm like on the top floor and I just see everybody downstairs. But yeah, so there's nothing over here, Patricia. Let's see. So you're mentioning, that's what I'm confirming. Yeah, so the only one that came up was this one right here at 7 o'clock. Everything else, there's nothing there. So there's nothing at 8 o'clock because you need to have a sell signal to match the trend meter for the 1 hour. And there was nothing here that was matching. So yeah, pretty much no entries there. I was waiting for the one at 12 o'clock though. So the one at 12 o'clock I was waiting for. The buy signal came up like I think 2 candles before right here. I was like, okay, there's not going to be an entry there. Also, when I went on the 1 hour chart, there just wasn't any sell signal that came up for the entire time. So just nothing there lined up. So yeah, does that clear things up, Patricia? I mean, you're basically just looking for a sell signal in the 1 minute, and then you're matching it with the 1 hour trend, which unfortunately didn't come up pretty much all day today. But today is Monday. You know, that's one thing that Maddie and Gion mentioned. It's just Monday, so we have a whole week ahead of us. But yeah, there was no entries that came up for today, just the one at 7. I can't remember if I took the one at 7. I don't think I did. I did take the one at 6 though, so I took the one over here at 6 o'clock. Yeah, so I actually took this one over here. This is the one that I took pre-market. And I don't remember if well, obviously I didn't take that one, but it would have been a good one. Patricia is asking, yes, but the sell signal needs to come up on the 1 minute. How quickly? It doesn't need to come up quickly at all. It just has to be up there, Patricia. So it just has to be up. Like, for example, here the sell signal came up at 5:38. Entry was at 6 o'clock. Entry over here at 7 o'clock. Signal came up at 6:49. So it doesn't have to come up quickly. It just has to be there. Because you're just riding momentum. So like you're not necessarily trying to catch it when momentum is starting. You're just trying to catch the wave that's already going. So like, for example, you got a sell signal and you got the trend, you're just riding the wave further down in that direction. So yeah, no need to like wait for it. You just need to like make sure it's there. So it's actually a lot easier than I feel like a lot of people are making it seem. But yeah, no, it's super simple. Not just you, Patricia, but other people too. They're like, I've been getting a lot of questions regarding it, and it's really not that difficult, guys. It's a super simple strategy. You don't even have to check on much. But the thing is, if you want a quality entry, of course, you need to check a couple other things. Like I look at market structure to identify, if I'm trading the direction of bias, because obviously bias is going to make more sense than trading against it. Also, I try to identify if I'm looking at an entry and it's going towards, retail traders. Like if retail traders are looking to buy like say a double bottom or a triple bottom or a double top at my entry point, then in that case, sometimes I would just wait for a deeper confirmation and I would enter a little later. But that's just where it gets a little more complicated. And I think that's where people get confused, because the basis of the strategy is very simple, but it's really just, I'm looking for quality entries. Even if it's a solid entry and everything lines up, I'm not going to take it unless like it meets up with my confidences. So yeah, no problem, Patricia. Let's see, other than that, let's see, I saw your question, Rev. I don't know why you deleted it. I was going to get to your question next. We're going in order. So, if you put your question there, I'll get to your question, but you just have to give me some time to finish answering what I'm doing currently. So I know what your question was, Rev. So even though you deleted it, you asked me what direction price is going. You can't really tell what direction price is going because market's closed. So this is like probably the worst time for you to ask me what direction price is going. That's a question that you ask when the market's actually moving. For the most part, we'll look at a couple of things, right? We look at bias. So typically you want to trade in the direction of bias, and I'll break down bias for you. So let's look at what the overall bias is looking like right now. So let's just go over here real quick, and I'll type in today's, well, the day's overlapping. So again, like this is it's not the best time to ask for direction, because when the market opens at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, price can go complete opposite direction, right? But I'm going to go ahead and just do the same analysis that I typically do. So I'll just put current overall bias, because it's not today. Tomorrow's going to be like when the market reopens, that's a brand new day. So the bias isn't necessarily going to mean that it's going to stand, the next hour or so. So retail sentiment. Oh, gotcha. Okay. I thought you were asking like for the current direction of price, Rev. So sorry, I just read your question wrong. But if you want me to show you what the overall direction of, well, I'll just go anyways. I'll just show you guys what the overall direction. I thought your question said, if I can tell you what I think price is going to be doing in the next couple hours or so, because that's kind of hard for me to tell you because the market's just reopening. But we can just take a look at overall bias, and I'll give you an idea of what I'm looking for. But for the most part, it's going to be kind of hard to really tell. So sorry, I read your question wrong. That's my bad. So short-term technical bias, long-term technical bias. And let's just take a look. So retail sentiment right now is currently 56% short. So with it at 56% short right now, this indicates that there is 56% of retail traders who are currently selling right now. So I'm going to say that's neutral, because typically you want it to be 60 to 65% or more in one direction. Right now it's only 50, what did I say? 56, which is not very much. So 56% bearish. Let's take a look at the fundamentals. So fundamentals over here is currently -12, so that's neutral too. Yeah, as you can see, we're going down the list here. It's not looking good. There's not really much of a direction. Short-term technicals over here are pretty much neutral. As you can see, prices in between the pivots. Pivots are going sideways, and the trend meter is kind of mixed. It's green over here, it's blue over here, and it's green over here. But realistically, it's not really in any direction. It's kind of just going sideways. So with that said, we also have a neutral bias. And lastly, long-term technical bias is still bearish. So you can see over here on the 30-minute, it's more neutral because it's right down the middle. Trend meter is blue. However, the 1 hour over here is below the pivots. Trend meter is red. And same on the 4 hour over here. Price is below the pivots and the trend meter is red, with the pivots angling to the downside. So with that said, we'll say that long-term technical bias is neutral bearish. So with that said, you guys can see right here, current overall bias. Retail sentiment is currently 55% or 56% bearish. That indicates that 56% of retail traders are currently selling. So you typically want to do the opposite, but they're not very lopsided right now. They're kind of down the middle. So it's not going to be too useful for us. Fundamental bias is right down the middle too. It's -12. In order for you to have a bearish or bullish bias, you need to be below or above 100 points. It needs to be consistently above or below that point. Right now it's at -12, so not really much of a use to us. Short-term technicals. are currently neutral right now. They're just going sideways, and long-term technicals are neutral bearish. So with that said, we don't really have a bias here at all. And I can't really tell you exactly where price is going to go. But I mean, if you guys wanted to have some sort of analysis, I would base a lot of the stuff off of 4 hour. You can see over here on the 4 hour price is bearish. But there's not really too much going on. So, I mean, obviously price is likely to go down, but realistically price is just going sideways. Like if you were to measure this right here, you'll see that there's not really much going on. Right? Like even on the higher time frame, there's nothing going on here. Price is just going sideways. So yeah, for the most part, I don't really see anything happening. I mean, price might go sideways for a bit. I don't think we're going to see really much of a big push. Let me check the calendar for this week. So tomorrow we have core durable good orders and durable good orders at 5:30 a.m. pre-market. So this is going to probably push price slightly in a direction. 6 o'clock, we have HPI month over month, S&P CS composite year over year. Then at 7 o'clock, we have CV consumer confidence, some inflation news, new home sales, Richmond manufacturing index. So we got some news tomorrow, nothing too crazy, but we do have some news coming up tomorrow. Wednesday is going to be the big day. So on Wednesday, we have Fed Chair Powell speaking at 6:30. So on open, market might be moving a little crazy. We have crude oil inventories at 7:30. So we got some news tomorrow. We got news tomorrow, news on Wednesday. Wednesday is a big day. Thursday, we have final GDP, unemployment claims, final GDP price index quarter over quarter, 5:30 a.m. pre-market. And then we have pending home sales month over month at 7. So we have high impact news on Wednesday and Thursday. And then on Friday, we have core PC price index, inflation news, personal income, personal spending, Chicago PMI, revised UOM consumer sentiment, and revised UOM inflation expectations. So we just got a bunch of inflation news this week. Nothing too crazy, but it's enough to like push price around. I think Friday is probably going to be the riskiest. I'm sorry, Wednesday is going to be the riskiest day because Powell's going to be speaking directly on open. So we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, for the most part, I mean, we'll have to wait until news happens because it looks like market's probably going to go sideways for a while until, some type of news event here really pushes price one direction or the other. Otherwise, it's just going to keep ranging sideways. So yeah, there goes my overall direction bias. But as you can see, there's not really much for us to work with there. It's a little difficult. All right, so let me see what else we got here. That's it with those questions there. Scrolling up, Maria's asking, can you show us some more examples of the new 1 hour strategy? So there's not really an example I can show you, Maria, because the strategy is changing every day. So the thing is, I don't want to show you guys something that tomorrow it's completely different, right? So I can't show you any actual examples here. I mean, I can show you what I'm doing now, but it's not really going to help you because if you're trying to learn something that I'm doing now and it changes tomorrow, you're just going to be confused, right? So guys, I know a lot of you guys are getting excited to like take these types of entries, but if you guys don't have the basic strategies down, don't try to move on to something that's not even established yet, right? So I'll show you another example, Maria, but I don't want you to get confused because you kind of don't have like the basics. You still don't have like the bare basics down yet, right? I mean, you have enough down, but you don't have like enough where you're profitable, like consistently profitable. So the thing is, I'm coming up with these strategies, guys, but I'm testing them, right? So I can't necessarily give you, that's why I'm not teaching the strategy because it's not ready yet. So a lot of you guys get excited because you see Maddie pass this challenge in like 2 days and stuff, but it's not meant for, it's not really meant for everybody to be applying. But I'll show you an example, Maria. I just want to make sure that you're not getting too stuck on the specific type of strategy because this stuff is still a work in progress. I mean, this always becomes the case. You guys see something new, you see us profiting, you try to take it, you blow your account, right? That's the problem with a lot of people. The thing is, you want to, like, everyone's looking for the easy way out. There's no easy way out here. Even if I show you the strategy here, Maria, there's still other confluences that I look at. So this stuff is probably still not going to make any sense to you, okay? So I'm going to show you the example of the 6 o'clock trade that I took, but I don't want you guys to be taking these trades if like you're just taking them off the fly, right? If you want to take them off the fly, take it on your demo account, but don't take these trades just because like you think it's going to be like a golden ticket to be like a profitable trader. If you're not profitable with any of my other strategies, then this strategy is not for you, because there's so many other strategies out there. But I'll show you guys an example of this right here. And I just don't want, like, my main thing here is to make sure that you guys don't get too focused on something that's not concrete yet. So I'll show you an example right here, Maria. This is the entry I took at 6 o'clock. I have a bearish momentum, bearish 1 hour trend over here. That's pretty much it. So that's the example that you're looking for. It's very simple. You're just matching that together. I can't give you a TP stop loss, so I'm still testing it. I can't give you an exact TP stop loss to use, but my TP is typically going to be 100 pips. So the stop loss isn't established yet, but the TP is going to be 100 pips. The thing with this here is that it's not that simple, because so this is where the entry had been made, but I'm looking at different things. I'm looking at the 1 hour time frame over here, and then I'm also looking at market structure. So I go to the 1 hour, I go to the 15-minute, right? This stuff's probably you're probably already confused at this point, right? It's a lot of stuff to really cover, because the thing is, it's a simple strategy, but it's not as simple as I make it seem. Like, I'm taking the strategy, but I'm also looking at different things here. So for example, right here, you can see that we have structure built up, right? So we have the entry right here. The reason why I was okay taking this was because price was coming down. And I said, okay, if price comes down, it's going to probably have to go down and retest this bottom right here, right? This support. So that's the reason why I took the trade. And the reason why I was okay with taking it as well is because I saw this over here test. I was like, okay, if price comes down, it's going to come down for a double bottom. It's going to be enough to hit my TP before it either bounces. So there's a couple of big things that I looked at right there. On top of that, I looked at bias, right? So I looked at, I turn on the trend meter. Well, the trend meter is already on. I turn on the pivots, and I said, okay, the 5-minute here is bearish, 15 minutes bearish, 1 hour is bearish, right? Bearish, bearish, bearish. There's some more confluences right there. So I'm not necessarily, this is a strategy, you're just looking for momentum, but I'm using different types of confluences here to confirm the entry. I'm not just taking it just because, I'm taking it because I'm confirming that this is probably going to hit this point right here. So from at that point right there, I already have like what? I have 1 confluence, I have 2 confluences, I have 3 confluences, I have 4 confluences, I have structure over here that's 5 confluences, I have the whole setup that's like 6 confluences, 7 confluences, everything lines up, right? At that point, I'm probably going to take the position. That's why I took this at 6 o'clock, let the trade run. Took a while, but eventually it came down and hit TP right there. So I hit the TP, and I was pretty much out from there. And that's why I took that one. So do you guys understand why it's confusing and why I don't want to teach you guys? Because if you guys can't get the bare basics of like the strategies we're already playing, this stuff's going to go way over your head and you're just going to blow your account. So don't try to get too ahead of yourself, guys. If you guys can't like get down liquidity, if liquidity is still confusing to you, don't move on to something else. If you can't get the V1 variations, don't move on to something else, because you're just going to keep confusing yourself and you're going to go in that same cycle where you try to learn something, you screw it up, you get a free retry, screw it up, you blow your account, you buy another account, screw it up, and it's just the same cycle over and over and over again. And I'm just like, that's why I'm cautious with this here, because for certain people, you can apply the strategy. Like Patricia, you're fine. I know you can do this because you've been around for a while and you already have the basics down. You already know how to do stuff. For certain other people in the group, like Maria, not to like just, put the attention on you, but for you, you're not consistent yet. So this isn't something that I would recommend you be applying. Even though it's a very simple strategy, there's more things to look at than just the basic criteria. So there's an example right there, but again, this is something that I do not recommend you apply, because I could already see where you would mess up. I could see that you would lose this trade right here because your stop loss would be too close. And that's only from experience, because I've worked with you before. So I know, like with you, I think this is probably what would happen. Just knowing, we've gone over examples with stuff that you kind of had problems with. Your problem is like trade psychology, right? So if this happened right here, price came down, hit your TP, but you weren't able to get out, right? When price pulls up right here, I could see you probably getting scared and pulling out for a loss up here, because you wouldn't understand how to really analyze the market, right? I already analyzed all my confluences, so I knew price was going to come back down. So I'd be okay with going to deep drawdown right here, because I knew price was going to come back down and eventually hit my TP. But then again, right here, so here's another thing. Not just you specifically, Maria, but with other people in the group, and I know you guys are here listening, this is another thing. You guys try to enter late, and then it doesn't hit your TP, and then what happens? You hold on to it, and you're supposed to be out of this position already, and it reverses on you and hits your stop loss, right? I've worked with so many people in the group, and I've been mentoring people for so many years that I already know where people screw up at. They screw up with entering trades late, not entering them properly, not really using any confluences, kind of just taking every single trade, FOMOing, revenge trading, etc. So there goes the example right there, Maria. But again, I think it's in your best interest not to apply the strategy, like from knowing you personally. Maria, I just told you, and you're asking for me to show you more examples of the 1 hour strategy. Okay, well, I'll show you another example, but if you blow your account, that's on you, Maria. I'm just gonna make it as clear as possible because I already try to warn you as much as I can, but you still want to see more of this. Okay, I'll show you one more example, okay? But if you blow your account, I'm gonna remind you that that this was okay. Sorry, Maria. Gotcha, Maria. Yeah, sorry. I thought you asked again, Maria. But yeah, the strategy is very simple, Maria. But I'm like, I want you to pass your challenge. Like I really want you to pass your challenge, and I don't want you to do something that's too risky. Like I think this right now is too risky. I haven't even tested it myself. I've been using it, but I haven't tested it myself. So I just want to make sure, like, I want to make it super clear to you guys that this strategy is not established. So I don't want you guys to be applying the strategy and then complaining to me like tomorrow, like, hey, Sean, blew my account. I was applying that new strategy that you said not to apply. So I just want to make sure that it's like super clear. Okay. Because yeah, the strategy works. Like the strategy is crazy. You've seen how Maddie passed his challenge in like 2 days, right? But I think like when you guys see stuff like that, it just makes you guys like way too excited and you guys want to start applying it before it's even been really completed. So so here, we'll do this, Maria. During the live sessions, if I see it, then I'll tell you, you can take it with me. We'll both take it, right? But I don't want you to go do it on your own. Because when I'm doing it, I can analyze it for you and I can make sure it's a good trade. But if you're going to take it like at a different time, like say right now, say for example, market reopens at 4 o'clock. For me personally, if it lines up with my analysis, I would take it because I know it's probably going to hit. But I don't want other people taking it. So yeah, I really want you to pass your challenge this time, Maria. Or I mean, if this is your second challenge, I want you to pass it. And you know, the people that I really do care about your guys' accounts, guys. I'm not here to just show you guys strategies and have you guys apply whatever. You know, I definitely want you guys to pass and I want you guys to be consistent, but it's hard for me to really do that when everyone kind of gets kind of dialed in on something new that hasn't been like really fully tested. Because realistically, we've only been trading, like I've been applying this strategy for like maybe, it's my old strategy, but I started applying it differently with a couple adjustments like about a month ago. Maddie and Gian have been helping me do it for about 2 weeks now. And that's basically when Maddie passed his challenge. So you can see over here from Maddie's account, you know, he has his notes here. He's pretty much writing his notes every day. But yeah, Maddie, he just started helping me with back testing the strategy. And you can see that he passed his challenge within 2 days right here. So this is basically his trades for the, where was it at? So these were his trades from the month. Let's see. Yeah, so these are Maddie's. Let me just try to put a note. These are Maddie's. Yeah, so these are Maddie's profits for the month. So he created this account on the 21st, took his first trade on the 23rd, and he's basically just been taking the trades with us as we test them. So I mean, luckily for Maddie, they all hit. There's no losses, and he made 5,000 within a 2-day period. So yeah, and hopefully that's just like it's consistent, and that's not just like, you know, the only time it happens. I think the rule that we've kind of set up for the strategy is if you lose a trade, then you're basically done for the day. Because the thing is, the negative risk reward is like pretty wide because we're still testing out to figure out what's the stop loss. But the thing is, it wins so often. So like, for example, last week it won like almost every hour of the past 2 days. So yesterday, last week, or I mean, you guys have seen my profits. You guys have seen when I trade outside of the session. So like, for example, here, I think this was, yeah. So this was last night. I took this trade on Sunday at 7 p.m. It took like 3 hours to hit, but it hit. So what I'm doing is I'm testing these strategies during times where like we don't typically trade, so I can see if it works well. Like, for example, right here, I took this trade and I went to draw down, like pretty massive drawdown right here. And, you know, a normal person would probably pull out of this position. They probably get scared and just pull out. But my analysis played out fine, so I just let it run and I just left it alone for like 3 hours. When I came back, it hit CP right here. It blasted right through him. So just want to make sure that you guys stay on point. Sorry, I just got sidetracked. I saw a couple of messages over here and I looked at it. Anyways, let me scroll up real quick. And sorry, Maria, I didn't mean to grill you on that, but you know, I just want what's best for you in your account. Yeah, Maria said she's improved since the last time we talked. Yeah, because I know last time it's been a back and forth process with you. And trust me, you're not the only one. Even my little brother Justin, like he's my brother and he has a direct connection with me, but he doesn't listen to me. So he's been having like free retries for the past 6 months. And he finally got funded like 2 weeks ago on Father's Day. So, you know, if you guys are in that situation where you guys keep getting stuck with free retries or you just keep blowing like challenges, don't worry, because you're not the only one. Like people that are even closest to me, like my brother, I could literally like tell him exactly what to do, but you know, he doesn't listen to me ever. So if you guys don't listen to me, you know, you're not gonna have the same results as what I have during the live session. So yeah, definitely look forward to you passing this time around, Maria. I know it's been a long journey for you. It's been a long journey for a lot of people actually. But yeah, once this strategy is pretty much set up, I'll teach you guys it. But I think it'd be cool just to follow along during the live session. 7 o'clock seems like a good time too. I think that's the only time we'll have 7 o'clock and maybe 8 o'clock for the 1 hour strategy. Because yeah, we run from 6:30 to 8. Sometimes I'll take the 6 o'clock one. But not always. Anyways, let me just scroll up real quick. All right, so yeah, CJ said, this is my second challenge. I passed the first one and got funded, but the second one seemed harder to pass for whatever reason. Maybe it's the market change, but I'm extra careful on my challenge compared to my funded. Yeah, exactly, CJ. Yeah, the market is changing a little bit. That's why we had to change the strategies up. But yeah, no, I agree with you. The market is kind of iffy, just a little bit, not nothing too crazy, but it is a little iffy. Like it's just slower. So like we can't go for the full moves. Like the liquidity pushes, we're typically going for like 100 pips now versus the full 300. And it's because the market's slow. Like you can even see right here, market, like the volatility just dies down completely. Right. It was like 100 pips for like a good hour and a half. So you just have to adjust with the market. If the market's moving slow, you just go for a smaller TP. If the market's moving fast, go for the normal TP. If the market's going really fast, then you get a wider TP and a wider stop loss. Right now, market's pretty slow. We're going to summer. So it's safer to just get in and out of the trades quickly and then look for that next opportunity versus buying and then holding on to it for a little too long and then getting caught in a position. Hey, Natasha. Let's see. Robert's here. Robert said, hi, Sean. From LA too. Good to meet you. Yeah, definitely, Robert. Good friend Alicia, who's a very successful trader, told me about this group. How can I pay for these indicators? So if you want to get access to the indicators, Robert, just go to our website. Go to kodikaitrades.com. Again, that's kodikaitrades.com. Click on, if you want to unlock the free access first to look at the course and everything, that stuff's all completely free. You can click on unlock your free access. But if you want access to the indicators, just click on the strategies up here and you'll get access to the full course with the indicators. Yeah, these indicators are very useful, especially if you're trying to look for something specific. Everything that I've created here, these indicators are meant for something specific when looking at the market. So yeah, I mean, if there's any indicator that you want me to explain or any strategy that you want me to explain, just let me know and I can give you a demonstration of like whatever you want to see. But yeah, for the most part, once you sign up to that, you'll have access to the course. This is what the course looks like. And it pretty much covers every strategy that I've pretty much taught everybody here and used myself during these live sessions for the past, over 7 years now. So you'll see that a lot of the strategies are pretty much the same. A lot of them are very similar. The only difference is just entries. So like we're always looking for the trend, we're always looking for the bias, and then we're always looking for momentum. It's just some entries have different entry points. Like V1 variations are considered retracement to corrections, pivot scalps and stuff like that are considered, sorry, 1 second. Sorry, I just have cancel what's called. But yeah, all the strategies are pretty much the same. We trade based off the trend and we take entries based off momentum. So we look for direction of trend and bias, and then when momentum provides an opportunity, that's where we make our entries. So you'll see that a lot of them kind of overlap. All the strategies are very similar, just different entry points. Let me see if there's anything else here. Barty said, but Sean, 4-hour rejecting again and again, too much liquidity upwards. I don't think that really matters. Barty, I don't think the rejections really matter. If you're looking over here on the 4-hour time frame, it doesn't matter. It's going to reject in both directions. So I don't think, I think just because there's liquidity on top, I don't think that's necessarily grounds for it to actually go up. I think price might actually keep going down. Because that's the thing. If you're thinking from your thought process, Barty, and because it seems like you're thinking of you're thinking of this as like in a very simple manner, then that's what other people are thinking too, right? If you think that, okay, there's a bunch of rejections on the bottom and you think, okay, this is a 1, 2, 3, 4 quadruple bottom right here, right? What do you think is going to happen? The market's going to do the opposite of what you're thinking. So I do get what you're saying, Barty, with there being liquidity up to the top side, but I don't think that's enough for this to really push the upside. Overall bias is neutral. Retail sentiment isn't even that bearish. If this starts to shift to a bullish retail sentiment, then this thing can easily shift down to the bottom and just keep dropping further and further. The thing that you also failed to really realize was that there's news this week. So as you can see from the calendar, tomorrow we have core durable goods, consumer confidence, and like all this other stuff, right? It's basically all inflation news. So if you look at the news over here, they're forecasting it to be, so let's see, core durable goods. So they're forecasting all the news here to be positive, but I'm actually forecasting it to be negative myself, just from like the previous week's news. So this is kind of where it'll get a little tricky, because yeah, price may push up slightly, but I think when the news actually comes out, it can easily like spike to the downside. So I think you need a little more confirmations, Barty. I'm not going to say that your analysis is wrong, but for me personally, I don't just like randomly say things, right? When I say stuff and I have my analysis, I have some actual logic behind it. So for me here, I'm thinking price is still coming down, because if you look at the overall bias here, price is still very bearish. Yeah, price may go up slightly on the shorter time frames, but you can see over here on the higher time frames, price is actually very bearish from the 1 hour and 4 hour over here. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see by tomorrow, Barty. So, you think price is going to come up? I don't think you're wrong. But from my analysis over here, there's actually liquidity on both sides. So if you go over here to the 1 hour time frame, like I know you said there's a lot of liquidity up here, but that doesn't really matter, right? Because at that point, because yeah, there's a lot of liquidity, but it's been like this for the past couple of weeks. There's always been liquidity up top, and price never came up. Because the thing is, there's also liquidity down here. So I wouldn't base the direction just because of where liquidity is sitting. Because the thing is, this liquidity, so here's the thing too, Barty, the liquidity up here is kind of irrelevant, right? And you know why? Because sentiment over here doesn't show that there's anybody on that side. So see how like there's only 56% of people who are short. If there was like a bunch of people, like if it was 60 to 65%, maybe even 70% right here, then I'd be like, okay, this liquidity here has to get hit. The thing is, this isn't even real liquidity anymore because there's nobody on the sell side. So I think that's another thing that you failed to look at, Marty. The thing is, you're just thinking, oh, because there's liquidity up here, price has to go up. No, right? There's not even like liquidity is not even up here. In order for there to be liquidity up here, like these are just high lows. Just because there's a high low there doesn't mean that there's liquidity sitting there. There's just lines. These are high lows. There would be liquidity there if there's sellers in the market, but there's no sellers right now. It's 56% short. So I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens over the next couple of days. But you gotta tie logic to it, right? If you're looking for liquidity, like if you're looking for stop losses here to get hit, you need people on the sell side, but there's nobody on the sell side. I mean, there's people there, but not really enough for you to hit those points. So we'll see. But I'm not going to knock your analysis. If you think price is going to come from liquidity here, it could happen. But from my analysis, I just don't see liquidity even being here. These are just high lows. So that's the thing that you guys got to keep in mind. Like the liquidity has to come from somewhere. Just because there's a high low there doesn't mean that that's liquidity. It just means there's a high low at that point. So, all right, let's move on to the next question here. All right, so Maria is asking, I've been practicing the SR rejection strategy. Are we going to return to it this summer? I mean, you don't have to return to it. Maria, I mean, if you want to apply it, you can apply it, but we don't necessarily have to return to it for you to apply it, right? All the strategies still work fine. But the thing with this, so I pretty much said the same thing every time we looked at the SR rejection strategy. This strategy is not an easy strategy for beginner traders. So, I mean, I might be looking at the entries, but it's probably not going to be one of the official strategies that we'll be applying, right? Unless it's like super necessary. So like, say, for example, during the summer, there's like no bias at all. If we go like a week or 2 weeks or even a month and there's no bias, then yeah, we would have to go to like something like this because this doesn't require a bias, right? The V1 variation requires a bias, but typically there's going to be a bias at some point. So I don't necessarily think that we'll have to like go down to the SR rejection. And the reason for that is just because a lot of people get confused with it, right? Some people get it, some people don't. So I think it's fine to apply if you know how to apply it. But I don't think we can really have it as an official, like one of the official entries that we take during the live sessions. Because it's complicated. I mean, it's not complicated, but it is complicated for people who don't know how to look for the entries. So like, for example, here, let me see if there was any entries that came up this morning. So let's just replay to 8 o'clock. So, I mean, this strategy works. It's fine. It's just because here's the thing. I don't want to apply something that's a little complicated. And then during the live session, I have to explain it to everybody, right? Say, for example, we take an entry and then someone's like, hey, I don't get it. Can you show me? That's going to take away time from our actual trading. So that's why I don't necessarily want to teach something that's a little too complicated for beginners. But I mean, the strategy still works fine. Let me see if we can find one here. So I think there was like this one right here at 7:30, right? So I'll put the criteria up here and we'll go over the strategy real quick. But I think it's just, there's just too much subjectivity with this strategy that it's going to throw people off. So yeah, looking for a sell here. The reason why we're looking for sell is because price is bearish, right? And the reason why we know that is because price is below the pivots, trend meter is red, and the pivots are angling down. So with that said, we're obviously looking for sells here. This entry happened at about 7:36 a.m. Going through the requirements. First requirement, confirm that you're trading the direction of the trend using the trend meter and the pivots. So as I just said, right now, price is below the pivots and the trend meter is red. That said, we're looking for a sell. Second, you want to identify a top wick rejection off the SRV2 zone with a moderate red candle. And I think this is where a lot of people mess up because they don't understand what a wick rejection is and they don't understand what a moderate red candle is. So that's like two big things that are going to be super necessary when identifying these types of entries. So with that said, we're going to go and look for the top wick rejection, right? Looking at this candle right here, you can see that this candle is rejecting off these zones right here. And in order for me to clean it up, I'm just going to draw my own zones. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a rectangle right over here, over the zone. And then I'm going to hide the indicator to clean it up. All right, so now you guys can see it a lot clearer. Going back to the requirements, first step, confirm the trend. Price is in a downtrend right here. Second step, identify a top wick rejection off the SR zone. So right here, we have this candle right here rejecting off that zone. Third, you want to confirm that you're trading in the direction of momentum. So since you're looking for a sell here, you want to look back and make sure that you have a sell momentum. With that said, we have a sell momentum right here. There's no buy signals in between. This is the most recent momentum signal. And once you've confirmed all of that, and you guys can already see, you know, at that point, a lot of people here might be confused already, unless you know how the strategy works. Once you've confirmed all that stuff, you can enter on the open of the following candle. So right here, you enter a short position. You set this up for a 1030 split. You let the trade run, and it goes straight to full TP right there. So, I mean, the strategy is good, Maria. The strategy is good. It's just up to you whether you want to apply it, right? I don't want to spend too much time during the live sessions explaining the strategy to people. And I already know if I start applying it, I'm going to get like a million questions during the live and I'm going to miss trades. So, I mean, if we really need to, we're back to the strategy. But for the most part, I'm probably not going to be looking to apply it, you know, as an official strategy. So, yeah, I mean, it's a good strategy. It's just hard for me to really teach beginners, and I don't really like teaching beginners to begin with. So, like, you know, I'm for the most part, I'm probably gonna limit people who can join. Like, I might have to like put up a survey or something and make sure people understand like the basics before we get into it. Because like lately, I've been getting a lot of questions from people who like don't know how to install MT4 and don't know how to use TradingView. I'm cool teaching TradingView, but like teaching MT4 is like, it's a headache because I don't even like the platform myself. So yeah, I mean, I don't mind helping you guys, but like for the very bare basic stuff, like how to find the Zoom link or how to get on the Zoom, like stuff like that's it's too much for me, guys. Like I can't help you guys with like the technical stuff. I'll help you with trading stuff, but like technical stuff, like how do I get on the Zoom, or how do I install MT4, or how do I like enter a buy position or sell position? Like that stuff should be already, you guys should know how to do that stuff already before you you start trading, or start trading with us at least. Because that stuff's not that difficult to learn. It's really just, you got to put in the work. Like you could just go to youtube.com, right? And I can show you guys right here, like YouTube or google.com, like Cern said, how to install MetaTrader 4. Like I'm not MetaTrader 4, so I can't give you all of the, and I don't even like the platform. So if you guys ever need anything, just go to YouTube, type in how to install a MetaTrader 4, or like, you know, how to turn on my computer. Like I get crazy questions, guys. Like you guys you guys have no idea how many like my DMs get blown up with like super basic questions, like with this stuff here, like how to install this, how to install that. And it's like, I don't have the patience to deal with that stuff. If you guys have like real trading questions, I can help you with that. Awesome. If you want to see a strategy, you want to see an example, you want to see where things are inconsistent, stuff like that, I'll show you that stuff. But I'm not gonna, I can't like spend like an hour or 2 hours with you guys to show you how to install MT4, how to install a quick trade manager and stuff like that. There's directions in the course for that stuff. So I just want to like, I just want to make it clear, because I've been getting like lately, you know, like now I don't even want to do the mentoring sessions anymore, the one-on-ones, because I've had a couple mentoring sessions, and during the entire session, it's like always like random questions, like how much money can I make in a week? Like, I don't know. It's up to you. Like, how big is your account? You know, like stuff like that. So I I brought back one-on-one mentoring sessions, but like the last like couple that I've had, they're not on YouTube, so don't bother like looking for them. They're like private sessions. I had a bunch of like super basic questions. And because of that, I'm not going to do one-on-one mentoring for a while. If you guys asked me before in the past about the session, you guys are still okay. We're still going to have a mentoring session, but I need to take a break from it because it's just frying my brain at this moment. Like with me having to answer like very basic questions. So, all right, let me see if there's anything else here. But yeah, Maria, if there's anything else that you want to see regarding the SR rejection, let me know. If there's any trading questions, let me know and I'll show you. But for the most part, you can apply it on your own. There's a couple of people in the group who still apply. I think CJ applies it. There's a couple of people, like if you message in the group, just you could even start your own group. If you want to start your own little chat with people who are applying the SR rejection, just start your own little Telegram group and you guys can discuss it like during the live session, or you guys could even discuss it during the live session. So yeah, if there's any trade that you're looking to take, Maria, just pop into the live session during the session, and then I can show you examples of that. So Martha said, you got to tell me how to do that so I can trade from the airport when I travel. Right. Super simple. All right, guys. So let me go back to the YouTube real quick and let me see if there's any questions over here. So let's see, question from Robert. Robert is asking, can the indicators be used to trade other pairs other than Dow Jones? Yeah. Do you have an example of a pair that you want to see, Robert? Because I can show you. I mean, I can show you the basic intraday strategy. So like the basics, I mean, it depends on the strategy. Basically, it will work for the most part. But if you're trading like the scalping strategies, you have to use something that's volatile. So you can't like apply these like small trades for something like USD CAD, right? I mean, technically you can, but I wouldn't recommend it. So like say for example, you want to apply a V1 variation on like USD CAD, right? The strategy works fine. So like, for example, right here, there's a double body rejection right here, or actually that's not one. Right here, actually. So the strategies still work, but you would have to test them to see what the TP stop loss would be, because the TP stop loss wouldn't be exactly the same. So for example, right here, if you're looking at a V1 variation, which is one of the main strategies that we apply, and yes, the indicators work on all assets. So all the indicators are based off momentum and trend. So it doesn't matter what you're trading. If you want to trade Forex pairs, you can trade Forex pairs. If you want to trade gold, you can trade gold. But if you're applying the scalping strategies, then those specific ones are meant for US 30. So if you want to trade them, just make sure that you trade them on something that has a very similar volatility. Like USD CAD is kind of slow, right? So for example, over here, V1 variation, you can see there's a double body rejection right here with a pending buy signal. So for us, typically we go for like a 10-30 split, right? You can't do that for USD CAD because it moves so slow. So for this, you'd probably do a 1-to-1. So you probably do a 2-pip. But the problem with this as well is the spread. So you got to incorporate the spread. But the same strategy here, you can see that it still works for something as slow as USD CAD. Let's find another example here, like GBP JPY. And you probably wouldn't be trading on the 1 minute either. You'd probably be trading on something like a 15. So here's an example. Let's see if we can find one here. Okay, so like say for example right here, you can see price is bullish, trend meter is green, pivots are angling up, price is above the pivots. You got a sell signal right here indicating a retracement. You got a double body rejection right there. You can go and put your long position right there. You're gonna do a 1-to-1, so it's gonna be 5-pip move. Here's the problem: the spread might be super wide, so you might have to go for something bigger, like maybe a 10-pip move or a 7-pip move. I think 7 is good for scalping, but I mean, I don't trade Forex anymore. But yeah, see, if you want to trade that, the strategies work across the board. It doesn't matter what you're trading. If you want to trade NASDAQ, NQ, I mean, there's people in the group who trade this on like a bunch of a lot of things. So for example, again, right here, if you want to see an example of this working on NQ, you can see right here that price is bearish, right? Price is below the pivots, trend meter is red, pivots are angling down. You see a double body rejection right there, pending sell signal. Same thing again right there. Let the trade run. Full TP, or I mean, you probably use a smaller TP because I mean, that's something like, I mean, I guess you could do a 1-to-1. We usually do a 10-30 split for ours. So if you're doing a 10-30 split, obviously this would hit TP. Or I've seen some people do like a 25-50. I mean, either way it would hit. You just have to change your TP stop loss. So, short answer to your question is yes, the strategies work and the indicators work on everything, but the main adjustment would have to be the TP stop loss, because the TP stop loss is not going to be the same for US 30 versus NASDAQ versus S&P versus gold. I mean, if you want to see another example of gold here, same strategy that we're applying. Right, same thing here. Like same thing again right here, right? See, gold's it's bearish right here. Price is below the pivots. It's indicating it's in a downtrend. Trend meter is red. Pivots are angling down. Same thing right here. Double body rejection, pending sell signal. You could do a 1-to-1. I don't know what it'd be because I don't trade gold. So, I mean, I guess if you want to do a 1-to-1 like that at the swing, you can see right there, it still works out the same way. You just have to adjust the TP stop loss. That's the main thing that you have to work with. But it's easy to figure out. You just got to test it out a bit. And if it's something that you normally trade, I mean, you probably know what the range is already for that specific asset. For me, I mainly trade US 30. I've been trading US 30 every day for like the past 7 years. So I know exactly how it moves. And I know the optimal TP stop loss for that specific pair. All right, so let me scroll up real quick. Kevin's asking, is there any free strategy I can start off with? And do you offer any free trial on the indicators? So there's no free trial. And the reason for that is because people just abuse it. We used to give a free trial like years ago, but the problem is people would abuse things, right? And the thing is, I don't like giving free stuff anyways, because if you give somebody something free, they're not going to value it, right? If you get a free gym membership, you're never going to go to the gym. If you get a free car, you're never going to drive it. There's just something psychological with people. If you give something to somebody for free, they're not going to value it at all. So, if you put money into something, you're going to value it. You're going to make use of it. So, yeah, I mean, I've given a bunch of free trials over the years, and it's just people abusing it or people complaining, and it never leads to anything good. So no, we don't offer any free trials, unfortunately. And I don't ever plan on bringing it back ever again, because I don't really want to open this up to like a lot of beginner traders to begin with. I mean, it's fine if you want to learn this stuff, Kevin, and you're a beginner. We're not necessarily closing the doors on you. It's just you're gonna have to put in the work to learn. So you're not going to have your hand held through the entire process. If you're looking for something free, I mean, good luck. In my opinion, I would say good luck, because you're not going to find anything free that's good. You could go around and look at like different free videos, but if it's free for a reason, right? It's like the only reason I gave free trials before is because I was trying to create a proof of concept with our system. System's already proven, so I don't need to give anything free anymore. Everybody knows that it works. So yeah, unfortunately, I don't really have a specific place to direct you to for free material. I mean, YouTube is your free source there if you want to look up YouTube, but I could almost guarantee you're not going to find anything good that's free on YouTube. And you'll find stuff, but it's not going to be like a full package. You're not going to learn something specific. You're going to learn like a bunch of little things, and then later on in the future, you're going to have to be able to put that stuff together. That's pretty much how I learned. Like, I never paid for a course, never had a mentor. I've been trading for over 10 years now, but I did everything from scratch. Like, I put in like all the work to really learn this stuff, and I created my own systems from like basically a lot of the stuff that I learned for free, but it just took me a long time. So unless you want to be trading for like 10 years and just barely getting it, it's better to just follow somebody that you like find someone that trades your style and just get mentored by that person. That's probably the best way to learn, because it's going to be tough, like, to really get stuff down. Kevin said no problems, but you buying something you haven't experienced, especially with the indicators, they are real expensive. Well, I mean, yeah, of course, you know, if it's a good product, it's not gonna be, you're not gonna get that at a discounted price, right? So, I mean, if you want something free, Kevin, you can watch all of the mentoring sessions. So like, if you go on the channel, like you're here on the YouTube channel, right? If you really want to do something that's free, you can learn what we're doing here, but you're gonna have to put in the work. So you're gonna go and watch these live sessions. If you go over here and you look at the mentoring sessions, so just go to the YouTube channel, scroll down, go to mentoring sessions right here. If you want to learn what we're doing, you can learn for free, but you're gonna have to actually put in the work. You can't just like have everything spoon fed to you, right? If you want to do this, there's 184 mentoring sessions here. I mentor for, you know, about 2-3 hours each mentoring session. So you can see the timestamps here. Each video here is over an hour. So you got a bunch of material here to look at. If you want to go and learn this stuff without having to pay for anything, then the information is there, but you got to actually go and watch the videos, right? If you want something that's condensed and you can just apply yourself, then yeah, you can go and pay for it and go right into it. But I mean, everything here, everything is already pretty much provided to you. If you want to watch any live sessions, go to live sessions here. There is 678 live trading sessions here. I trade live every day, Monday through Friday. So if you want to watch any of these videos here and, you know, learn what we're doing, it's really up to you. But you're going to get what you put into it. So if you don't put it in any practice or watch the videos, you're not going to understand anything. Let's see. Kevin said, even if it was half price, because you will be now using the indicators because it seems like everything is indicator based. Sorry, I don't even understand what you said, Kevin. Kevin said, but everything seems like you have to have it. Well, yeah, of course. I mean, that's the whole point of it being proprietary, right? Like, it's called a proprietary strategy because it's proprietary. It's not something that you can just copy and do yourself. That's the whole point of having the indicators. Kevin, if you didn't need the indicators, then why would you be here? Right? All right, Kevin. Well, I mean, yeah, if you want to look for something free, just go on YouTube. This is probably not the place for you. If you're looking for something free or for something discounted, this is probably not going to be the place for you to look. I'll help you if you have any questions about trading. But if you're just looking for free stuff, you got all the videos here. You got all the live sessions that you can learn from, all the strategy videos, all the mentoring session videos, all of the material is there. But if you just don't want to pay for something, then this is probably not going to be the proper place for you. You can go learn somewhere else, but you can ask me for questions. Like you can go learn the strategy somewhere else and come back and ask me questions during the mentoring sessions, but I'm not going to give you anything for free, bro. It's not going to happen. Yeah. All right. So let me scroll up real quick. Rev is asking, I'm looking at TradingView to have all your indicators. What level am I going to need to see your indicators? So you would just need to have the YM data on your account, Rev. I mean, depending on your broker, if you're using a futures broker already, then you can have the futures data on your broker. Well, you can just like add it on. But if you want to pay for it, it'd be separate. Like for me, I pay for my YM data. I think it's like $4 a month. So it's not really much, you know, it's worth it. If I'm making like the profits from today, I made about 4,000 today on this account, made 4,000 on this account, made 1,000 on this one, you know, it's worth it because you're going to have like the fastest data. So for me personally, I do recommend you have YM if you are scalping. But if you have a futures broker already, so if you're trading on something like I think TradeStation, AMP, Tradeovate, these are the three main futures brokers on here. If you have an account with them, then you can just unlock it. So you would just tell TradingView that you already have an account with them. You'd log into the account, or typically you just log into it. You log into your TradeStation, AMP, or Tradeovate, and then when you pull up YM, it's going to show up on your screen. It'll be real time. So if you guys are not paying for it, it'll say delayed or closed right here. But if you're paying for it, it'll say market open. All right, Kevin, you're just saying a lot of dumb stuff, so I'm just gonna kick you out of the room, bro. Don't come back. All right, I just banned Kevin from the room. So Kevin here's complaining because he doesn't want to pay for anything, bro. Okay, go to Walmart then, bro. Go to the Walmart of trading. Now he just wants something free, like, bro. Okay, why don't you come here and like clean my house, bro? And then I won't pay you for like a whole month, and then see how you feel about that. I mean, but it's all good, guys. Whatever. We're gonna get trolls like that either way. But that's cool. I just booted him from the room. Yeah, I know. Stern said waste of energy. Like I went through all of that to explain to this guy where everything's at, and then he just complains later because he said that I'm draining the money that he doesn't have. Bro, I don't even know where to go with that. Like I have like literally, like, yeah, CJ said all he has to do is look at the free YouTube videos over the last several years. He can see your profit results too from every day. Yeah, I know, but it's whatever. I don't care, guys. Someone like that, I don't want to work with anyway. So like they can go find another group to trade with. I don't care, but I'm not gonna deal with that. Anyways, so if there's any other questions, guys, feel free to put them in the chat. It's 3 p.m. right now, so we've been on this mentoring session for about an hour now. I'm willing to stay on here longer if there's more questions, but I think this is about it for now. All right, V1. Let's go to the V1. V1 continuation. Yeah, so we haven't really applied this in a long time, but well, I mean, basically the V1 continuation is just the V1, but without the pending momentum. So nothing was really different from it, CJ. So let's just go over here real quick. Let's go to 8 o'clock. Yeah, so like what I was saying before, guys, the V1 variations and the V1 continuations are basically the same. Like it's very similar. It's just the only difference is that you don't need a pending momentum. So you got a V1 variation. And V1 continuation. You can see that literally the entire strategy is the same. The only difference is that there's no pending momentum. You just go straight into it. So let me see, for example, and I'm just looking at from today. I don't think there was any entries from today because there was no bias, but I was going to see if there's something here that we can possibly look at. No, I don't really see any entries here. Yeah, because I didn't see any V1 variations from today anyway. So let's go to like Friday or something. Let's go to Friday. Let's go here real quick. I mean, this stuff came from pre-market, but we'll see if there is anything here that. Yeah, because Friday the market was going sideways right here. Okay, so no, the trend was bearish over here, so there's not really much here to look at. Let's see. So this is an actual V1. Okay, so here's an example right here. This happened pre-market, but I mean, it's still the same thing. So you're basically just looking for the same thing. You're looking for a double body or double wick projection, but you're not really caring for the momentum. In order for you to have an entry like this, you typically need to have a really strong overall bias. So you need to have like retail sentiment aligned with fundamentals. aligned with the technicals. So you have all those three lined up right there, and then you're good to go. So like, for example, over here, we have a sell momentum. We have price coming down. I'm not sure what the bias was on Friday, but I'm assuming it was very strong for a sell. Anyways, price was coming down. You had price come up right here. It is a double body rejection at that point. And I think this is the one that you were referring to from last week, CJ, because this happened on Friday. Well, this was pre-market, so actually probably not. But same thing, you set up the trade right there, 1030 split. You let the trade run, and you know it's full TP. So same thing. It's just this is a lot riskier. The continuation is a lot riskier because you don't have the pending momentum. Typically, you want to have a momentum that's pending because that's gonna be enough for you to push through your TP. So like say, for example, you had an entry right here and you got a momentum that's pending, that's gonna be enough to blast right through your TP. So it's the same strategy. The only difference is that you just don't have a pending momentum. You would just take it as is. So I think there's maybe another one. Actually, there's one that just happened right next to it. So there was two that happened right next to each other. So there was one right here and then another one right there. See how, or this is actually an actual V1 variation. So you got a V1 continuation and then you got a V1 variation here. So, I mean, it's pretty much the same thing. The only difference is that you don't have the momentum pending. But see how like this one right here, see how when you do have the pending momentum, it's enough to like blast right through. Like you have enough space because once you get that momentum, it's going to blast right through to your TP. So you can see here, it's not a strong push, right? Because you already had momentum. So price did come down, but it wasn't like a strong blast right through TP. Unless it has like a very strong bias. But this one over here had a pending momentum. So you can see when the momentum came up, it blasted right through. So this here is pretty much like a clear example. So that's why we prefer the V1 variation versus a continuation, because you have a better chance of it actually blasting through your TP if you have a pending momentum with it. Maria said in the first example, the double top. Yeah, I think you just might have seen it incorrectly, Maria, because it's right here. It's the one next to it. Yeah, so it's the one that's right here. So this is the double body, and then double body again right here. Yeah, I know it's kind of confusing because the candles here are kind of choppy. So you might have probably looked at it from right here for this entry, but the entry actually happened right there. Yeah, no problem. Barty said Sean making 10K a day on regular, where few people I know make this much every day. Plus, I've seen lots of guys who open trading view chart and does it. Yeah, no, definitely. Thanks, Barty. Yeah, guys, like I don't like. I feel like I don't need to prove anything to anybody because, like I said before, guys, like if you guys are if your teacher is not doing good or whoever's mentoring you, if he's not doing good, then other people in the group are not doing good, right? But every day I trade live, like live trading, like I'll literally trade live and I'll show you the profits after I call the trade. Like we look at the trade live and I show you my profits after. Like I don't know how much more transparent you can get from that. So I mean, I don't know, unless the person is just a complete idiot, like what's his name, Kevin Diggs. Unless you're a complete idiot and like you think that this is fake. I don't know how this could be fake, bro. I will analyze it. I'll show you the trade and then I show you the profits right after. I don't think I could do enough Photoshop within like 2 seconds for me to go and like make a fake, like analyze it, have a hit profit, and then Photoshop something and then call up the broker and tell them that like, hey, like put this trade in that it looks like I made it. Like it's not enough time for me to do something like that. So, I mean, if you guys don't have the logic to like understand that this is like as transparent as it gets, then I don't know. I can't really, it's just, man, dealing with trolls, guys, dealing with trolls. This is why I'm taking the YouTube off. So, I mean, the YouTube streams are, thank God it's coming off tomorrow, bro. I'm tired of dealing with trolls. I'm tired of dealing with like freeloaders in the group. Not to say that you guys are freeloaders in the YouTube, but there are a lot of freeloaders out there. And trolls. So I'm really relieved that we're gonna take down the YouTube tomorrow, because I'm done with dealing with trolls, guys. It's so annoying. Like I don't know how to get, like, you can't even get across to a troll, because a troll, you'll show them proof and they'll just keep trolling. It just throws us off. So we can just focus on trading during live sessions versus answering kind of like random questions and stuff like that. Yeah, no, definitely. Thanks, Natasha. But yeah, guys, all right, if there's any other questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. Otherwise, we're just gonna wrap this up and then we'll call it a day. So we've been on the session for a little over an hour. But if you guys have any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat and I'll answer whatever you guys need help with. Otherwise, we're just gonna wrap it up for the day. And then we will be back here tomorrow for the next live session. Okay, so there's no entry there at 3. I was checking to see if there was any entries that came up right here at 3, but there wasn't. So I'll look for a possible entry later at 4 o'clock. But if not, I think we should be good. All right, guys. So I think that's it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Again, if you guys are new here, just go ahead and check out the website, kodikaitrades.com. Click on unlock your free access right here. Something that some people don't value, free access. But yeah, if you guys are new here, just click on free access. This will give you access to the course. Again, you're not going to get access to the indicators, but you'll get access to the entire course here to see if it's for you. If it's for you, great. If it isn't, it's fine. Move on to the next group, and we'll see what goes on from there. So, all right, guys, have a great